Okay, so it's now the 13th of January. This is Rabbi Levitt, Pele Yoetz.
Oh, I see. Wow.
Good morning, everybody.
Just one
That was a quick
continuing
switch.
meeting.
Yeah, we were running late. We just said, "Oy vey, it's late," and then you guys started connecting.
Lou, you got all my messages yesterday, right?
I got a message that we're not continuing till Tuesday.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I want to make sure. Because he finally got back to me. And he said there's a few people who are sick, so we'll just bide their time, I guess.
Right. Okay, sorry, Rabbi Levitt, for the
Okay.
late start.
Okay, very good. So we were wondering, I was wondering about what this Pele Yoetz is referring to, and the Pele Yoetz that says over here, and now I'm looking for it, I can't find it, of course. In the English, I do know where it is.
It's 187, top of the page.
Yeah, things which are permissible, but people have a custom to prohibit them in accordance with a stricter opinion, may not be permitted in their presence. Yeah. So as I say, I wasn't have the opportunity to ask what this is referring to, but just one note I wanted to make, that we have to remember that we're talking here in the entry of speech of Dibor. So
good point.
So then we have to ask the question, well, is it really true that every single thing that he said here, the Pele Yoetz, in this entry is only in regard to things that people say? Nothing here has been about things that people do, or no actions are involved over here? It seems like that's generally what I'm looking at. It's generally only dibor, only words.
But it's very hard to me to understand how this applies to words.
Yeah.
Somebody has a custom that they don't say certain words, but it's a chumrah. I can't even think of an example of that.
Yeah, I thought maybe that what he might be referring to is that if somebody has a custom to be stringent, even though the matter is permissible, but it may not be permitted in their presence. Perhaps it means that one shouldn't say to the person, this is permissible. That's the only thing I could think of why it's doing here in Dibor, but I've never heard of such a thing like that. That you shouldn't tell somebody that conducts themselves with a stringency that it's it's really permissible what this matter over here. So I don't know, but in any case, that's one thing. And the other thing is that Roy brought up yesterday.
Oh, Roy sends his apologies. He had to take his wife to the hospital for an eye test.
Oh, okay. Everything should go well. Bezrat Hashem.
Amen.
but he was asking about perhaps maybe what this is referring to is people going to B'nai Eretz Yisrael, going to Chutz La'aretz on Yontif,
Right.
Sheni.
Right.
So, in any case, I just was curious about that, so I looked up in the Shulchan Aruch where this is discussed, and very interestingly, it's in Hilchos Yontif in the 5th volume of a Mishnah Berurah. If you want to take a look where what it says over here.
5th volume. Okay.
What page?
This is in Siman Tuf Sadi Vav. The page number, it would be page, let's see, 204, 205, 206.
Tough, Tzadi, Vav.
Yeah, that's the Siman. Hilchos Yontif. Tuf Sadi Vav.
Okay. And what Sif?
Sif Gimel.
B'nai Eretz.
Yeah, B'nai Eretz Yisrael. So B'nai Eretz Yisrael, that means someone who permanently resides in Eretz Yisrael, and as such he keeps one day on for Yontif. Second day of Yontif, he does malacha when he's in Eretz Yisrael at least. Shabo l'chutz la'aretz. He goes to Chutz La'aretz. Okay. Now what's the din? Asurim lasos malacha b'yontif sheni. It is absolutely forbidden for him to do any malacha, forbidden malacha, on the second day of Yontif in Chutz La'aretz. And now he qualifies over here, b'yishuv. B'yishuv, in other words, in the Jewish area. Afilu datu lakzor, even if he's just temporarily visiting Chutz La'aretz, and his intention is to return, to go back to Eretz Yisrael. So now, and as a matter of fact, the Mishnah Berurah over here, Sif Cotton Test, he says Nostin alav humrei makom shaholach l'sham gafilu b'tzina asur. That we put on this Ben Eretz Yisrael the stringencies of the place that he is going to, and that is afilu b'tzina, even not in front of anyone. It'll be asur. It'll be forbidden for him. So that's the basic halacha over here, and the Mishnah Berurah continues, and he refers you to Kamoshin Isbar La'el B'Simin Tov Samech Ches, which was what we were learning yesterday about the halacha that's based upon the Mishnah that we learned yesterday in in Maseches Psochim about the people that have a custom to not do malacha even before Chatzos on Erev Yontif. And what's their din if they go to a place where the custom is otherwise? So the same rules that were applied in the Mishnah in Psochim are going to apply over here.
So I have a question about the use of the word chumrah. Chumrah
Right,
means
right.
stringency. Sometimes, like if we say halacha deraisa lechumrah, halacha derabanan lekula. So in that case, it's not anything that's optional. That's the halacha. You have to do it that way.
Right.
In other cases, sometimes though we say if it's a chumrah, we mean it's optional. It's something that some people take on, but other people don't. Which usage is this?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. That's a good question. When it comes to the Mishnah in Psochim, that was a chumrah. It's based upon just a custom. It's not based upon the halacha. There's no halacha. There's really what we got to do, we would have to take a look at the whole Gemara over there. Maybe the Gemara would tell us something that we don't know. But my understanding is that that there's no Tanaic opinion or even from the Amoraim in the Gemara over there in Psochim that says that the Torah or the Rabbanan say that you have to desist from malacha even before Chatzos. I don't recall that there is any opinion like that. So I'm just guessing that it's not based upon a halacha. It's based upon a stringency. Do I have that Gemara over here? Yeah, Rashi. I think even Rashi says this. Rashi says that on that. If you want to know the truth, sometimes. Where was what? Does anybody remember what daf that was in Psochim? Oh, it's I think it was the fourth parak. Welcome Shinogu. Oh, it's daf nun, right?
Yeah, I think
You're on Daf Nun. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rashi says here on the Mishnah already. Makam Shinogu. Shalola Sos. And Rashi says, Kadesh lo yehe torud b'malacha v'yishkach bir chamso u'shchitas ha'pesach v'tikun matzah v'tzorech halayla. So Rashi says that the words of Rashi to me, without seeing the rest of the Gemara, seem to me to be clear that Rashi understands it was something that was taken on by certain places, simply because they as a custom, not based upon a halakhic stringency, based upon a machloikis tanoim about whether the Torah requires you not to do malacha from this time or that time, or even the Rabbanan, but it was just in order to make sure that you get everything done on for Pesach, on Erev Pesach. You make sure that you burn your chametz, you make sure that you shecht your korban Pesach timely, and you make sure that your matzah is properly baked, because a lot of people in that era, they used to bake their matzah on Erev Pesach. How do you like that? It's even brought in the Shulchan Aruch, and there's people that do it today as well. So there's a lot to do, and therefore there was they put down an Isser Malacha so that people wouldn't be involved in Malacha and neglect the mitzvahs that have to be done on that day, which is, everybody knows, is one of the busiest days if not the busiest day of the whole year. Mitzvah litroach miba'od yom kedei lahasev maher. And Rashi adds as well, it's a mitzvah to involve oneself and put oneself out and do everything that one can as early as possible in order to it's all for the sake of being able to come to the Seder as quickly and as efficiently as possible without wasting time, because that's the mitzvah. That once the nighttime comes, the mitzvahs alayla are to be done. So it seems to me the language of Rashi is that it's clearly a custom, and that's what we mean over here in this context. But again, we have to research research the halakha to its sources in the Gemara. But it could be that when it comes to doing malacha on Yontif Sheni, I mean, this was at the very least, it was something that was already put in place by the Chazal, and so it's an Issur D'Rabbanan. It's not simply a custom that people that live in Chutz La'aretz do not do malacha on Yom Tov Sheni. It's not simply a custom. Okay, so it's more stringent than simply a halakhic stringency. It's to my understanding, it's a Issur D'Rabbanan.
Right.
Now, of course, the thing though is that the Bnei Eretz, the person that comes from Eretz Yisrael, since he is a Ben Eretz Yisrael, so technically speaking, he is allowed to do malacha on Yom Tov Sheni, and he's allowed to do malacha on Yom Tov Sheni in Eretz Yisrael, and he's also allowed to do malacha on Yom Tov Sheni in Chutz La'aretz as well. Except that, in other words, if you want to know why it is, we said that they're not allowed. That's what the Shulchan Aruch is saying. They're not allowed to do so. It's asur. So what's the reason that it's asur?
Even in private.
Yeah, even in private. And
that's surprising to me, because what I learned when I was in America was that in private they could do what they wanted. They just had to make sure that in public they maintained the customs of the place.
Yeah. So so a note here in the Dirshu on this entry over here, that the Mishnah Berurah says in private, he says over here that if you take a look in Siman Taf Samach Ches, which was talking about doing malacha before Chatzot Hayom on Erev Pesach, they bring down that it says over there, things that are not really so possible to do, but sinna, by definition, kigon malacha. I guess he means malacha that makes noise, or that asur lasosam b'tzina. But things that are really actually permissible to do, that are possible to do rather, that are behind closed doors that no one sees, and no one will find out about it. The people of the place will not find out about the fact that malacha was being done. So they're pointing out that the Mishnah Berurah himself qualified the prohibition of even betzina it's usher over in the other siman dealing with Pesach.
Okay, and over there he says that if you do it in such a way that nobody will know, then it's okay.
That's what he says over there. So why? What? Yeah, it's a bit. Why he didn't make the qualification? I mean, and he refers. The Mishnah Berurah, in other words, refers. See, this is how you'll have to learn the Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah says over here, "Afilu betzina asur," and he doesn't explain anything, right?
Right.
But he does say, "Ukamo shenis ba'er le'eo," as we have explained above in Siman Tuf Samaches. What is he? Why did he say that? Why did Mishnah Berurah tell you that? Because he's telling you, go look over there, and you'll understand what I mean when I said that it's usher to do it betzina. I don't have time to repeat myself. To just go look over there. And the Dirshu was telling us, yeah, you look over there, and you'll see that it says that if no one will know that you did it, it's not making any noise, and the people are not going to find out that you did it. So then, actually, it would be permissible.
Very interesting.
Okay, so I mean, just one thing that the Dirshu brings down over here, very interesting. They're talking about, all sorts of questions that come up today. Where did I see this? He's got so much over here. He's got a whole page of notes about different things. I'm looking for somebody is on a. Basically, what he was saying was that somebody is a Ben Eretz Yisrael is on a plane to Chutz La'aretz that's going to arrive in Chutz La'aretz in the middle of Yontif Sheni, and so the whole thing is, well, how do you get off the plane in that place? How close is that place to how close is the airport to the Jewish community? Are there any? An airport is a big place. It's quite likely that there's Jewish workers that work in the airport in some place. So the whole idea was that even people on the plane that were coming back from Eretz Yisrael that are themselves totally not observant. They're traveling in the plane on the second day of Yontif. Already in the plane would be a problem, because even though even though the Mishnah Berurah said over there in Hilchos Pesach that it could lead to machlokes, even though over here the poskim say it's not going to lead to machlokes, because all these non-religious Jews, they're not going to make a machlokes about the fact that here's a Jew from Eretz Yisrael who's riding on the plane on Yom Tov Sheni. They're not going to make a big deal about that. But it's a zilzul of Yom Tov Sheni in front of other Jews, and therefore it would not be it's not lechatchila to do such a thing unless he has a very, very pressing situation. Perhaps it'll be permissible. That's basically what came out over there. So there's all sorts of calculations that go into the equation over here. Okay, that's a little bit about that subject.
So I wanted to give another thought because you had mentioned that we're in the section of speech, and I'm wondering if we could come up with an example of forbidden speech that is a chumrah, because I remember learning that there are 5 kinds of speech. Torah and davening are the first 2. The mundane is the third one. Useless talk is the 4th one, and usher, forbidden talk, is the 5th one. And
Okay.
It was said in this shir that I heard that Rebbe used to avoid, whenever possible, the 3rd category, the mundane, which would include business. So he considered mundane talk to be usher unless it was absolutely necessary. I wonder if that could be an example of this, that in his presence you would have to try and, let's say you didn't have that chumrah, that you felt that mundane talk was permissible, perfectly fine, as opposed to the 4th category, which is useless, like small talk, or just idle chatter would be the 4th category, but this would be something that's in the 3rd category. I'm wondering if it would be that you consider that to be perfectly permissible, but in his presence, you would have to limit yourself.
Oh. That's what it means. It shouldn't be permitted in this person's presence, who has a stringency on this in this matter. Very interesting. I hear. I mean, okay. Right. I mean, I wouldn't imagine that one would get a response in any case from Rebbe on that. He would, it would turn out to be useless words for the person to say them if he was expecting a response. But you're saying, according to what the Pele Yoetz is saying over here, person should not conduct himself with his speech according to his own standard in front of a person who has a different level of observance in that matter. And now you put it into an issue of speech. So that was very good. Okay. Okay, believe Netter. I'll really try to see about that. Well, we had other questions too in this section too. We didn't clarify either.
Right,
Okay.
we had the example of the of Chalav Yisrael.
Ah. Okay. Oh, okay.
If someone comes to visit me and I don't keep Chalav Yisrael, they do. So, obviously I would, go out of my way to buy Chalav Yisrael products to serve to them. But the question is, would I be obligated to also only restrict myself that I would only eat those products while they were there?
In their presence, yeah. Okay, that was the question. That was the question. Yeah, that I never heard of. I never heard of that being a requirement, especially in the person's own house. That if the host did not have that stringency.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, very good. So we have some interesting questions that come out over here. Chalav Yisrael and Dibor. What level of Dibor? Okay. Yeah, Reb Chaim Pinchas Scheinberg, Zatzal, I heard was makpid on Shabbos to only speak divrei Torah.
Right.
There's a Yerushalmi that says that Bekoshi, they were mater. The Rabbanim were mater Shilat Shalom on Shabbos.
What's that?
That yeah, well, that's the whole thing. What does this mean? Shilat Shalom. We have to find out what this means. To say that, does it mean to inquire about someone's welfare? Does it mean to what does it mean exactly? But that's the language of the Gemara, as far as I remember. The Yerushalmi, it says, Bekoshi, they were matir she'ilas shalom, b'Shabbos. Literally, it means the asking of one's shalom, inquiring of another's welfare.
Right. Like how are you doing, or are you feeling better after being sick, or something like that?
Yeah. So
even something like pass the salt would be considered to be category 3 speech based on my example before. So would he try to avoid saying pass the salt?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he would just go up and get it himself.
Right.
If he needed it for the I mean, it's already it's already Litzorech mitzvah. Technically speaking, it's Litzorech mitzvah if he needs it for the Amotzi.
Right.
It's not categorized as just divrei divrei v'shus, whatever you want to call it, mundane speech.
Or even if
Pertains
it's
to a
not,
mitzvah.
even if it's not for the motzi, but if it's Oneg Shabbos, you're going to enjoy your meal because you're going to have the salt, and that's going to contribute to your
okay.
Oneg Shabbos. That's a mitzvah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. Okay, so we will continue. We're up to here. We're up to page 187, the second paragraph. A person should not report. So, Alan, would you like to continue?
Sure. A person should not report bad news. One who bears evil tidings is described by the verse in Mishlei. A man who voices slander is a fool. Pesachim 3b, unless it is for an urgent need, in which case he should inform the person through a hint.
So if someone passes away, chas v'shalom, then if the funeral has not happened, then I would think that you would be obligated to inform people who might attend the funeral.
Yeah.
Is it saying that you should do that through a hint?
No, he doesn't have to do that through a hint.
Okay. So if the funeral is passed and let's say the 30 days is passed, then I would assume that you really should not inform people based on this.
Well, the truth of the matter is that the mitzvah of Nichum Avelim applies for the entire year. The person's an Avel. I mean, if it's for a mother or father, rather. If it's for one of the other relatives, so then it would only be 30 days. So you'd be right.
So you have to know what the relationship is between the nifter and the person that is mourning. Let's say I have a friend, person A, and person B was nifter, and he was a good friend of person A.
Okay.
So person A is not considered to be a mourner. So if person B knows person A, and I want to inform him so he can call up person A and give condolences,
Right.
According to this, would it be appropriate for me to do that or not?
So what I was saying was, what if the person is a person still a mourner? If he's still a mourner, as in the case, if the person who lost his mother or father, so he's a mourner for a whole year. It's a mitzvah to console him for the whole year.
So in that case, I should
So
inform everybody who knows him that his parent passed away.
Yeah, if they have not been informed, if they've been in a different place or a different city, or for whatever reason they're not aware of it, and it would be likely that they would that since they have a connection to this person, they would likely call him up or even visit him, and absolutely.
Okay, so here's an actual real case that's happening right now. A person in America who is the husband of a cousin of my brother-in-law. So pretty somewhat distant connection, but
Yeah.
we're a pretty close knit family. And this person, he used to come to a lot of family simchas and parties and things like that, and we all were good friends with each other. So, should I be informing my children that this person passed away and his funeral is actually tonight? But it's in America, so nobody's going to go to it.
Well, who would the children? What would the children do with the information? Are they gonna make a shiva call? Are they gonna attend the levaya? If it doesn't have any, if it's not gonna, if it's not necessary for them to, or you just want to know if just that they should know.
Right. Because they knew him.
Right. I see what you mean. So it would almost make them feel bad that they would say, "Oh, Father, how come you didn't tell us that so and so is nifter?"
Right. But on the other hand, if I don't tell them, they'll probably never find out because they have no contact with him. We don't go to the family parties anymore because we're not in America. So nobody's going to notice that he's not there anymore.
Yeah. 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 It's not clear that you. It's not clear to me that you would need to tell them or should tell them. Just in other words, for the sake of knowing about an old friend that the friend passed away is I don't know if that's it's not a tzarech mitzvah. What we're talking about is tzarech mitzvah. It's the person needs to know because otherwise he won't have any he won't know to attend the levaya. The person doesn't know because otherwise he won't make a shiva call to visit the shiva, or even if the shiva is over, but he would certainly call the surviving son or daughter and offer his consolations to them during the year of their availus. That's already l'tzarech mitzvah. That's not simply relating bad news. That's
right.
Telling someone that he has that he since he has a kesher to this child, it would be appropriate for him to shtelzu and do the mitzvah of nichum avelim. So that's not reporting bad news.
Right.
I mean, we could look up this Gemara in Psachim. I think we saw this. This is the same Gemara that we saw with the. That was the Lashon Nikia.
No, that one
We
was
had a
that
Gemara
one was with Daf Nun. This is Daf Shalosh.
We had, you know where we had this?
No.
We had this with on page 185. A person which he doesn't quote the Gemara. We found it ourselves, but a person always speak a decent language.
Right.
So here's a related type of language, which he quotes the Gemara over here, the Psachim 3b.
I'd be curious because my next question was going to be, what's the connection between bad news and slander?
Oh yeah.
Bad news is not slander. Why does he put these two sentences right together?
Yeah, let's see. That's very interesting. Very interesting. Let's see. This is a pasuk in Mishlei. He's quoting the pasuk in Mishlei. Okay, that's what it says in the Mishnah in Psachim. Not a Mishnah in Psachim. It's the pasuk in Mishlei. Where is this on the page? Anyway, the pasuk is in Mishlei. If you have a Mishlei, it's Perik Yud, pasuk Yud Ches. Interesting. L'chasis sina sifsei shaker, someone who conceals his hatred. Sifsei shaker, has lips of falsehood. Umotzi diba, and one who takes out of his mouth a diba, a bad report. That's the same language that the Torah describes about Yoetz, that he was maybe diba ra la'achiv, la'aviv, about his brothers.
Right.
Motzi diba huksio. Someone who's motzi a diba is a ksio, is a person who's not using seichel in the proper way. So that's where our translator, he's translating the word diba as slander, which is accurate. It's accurate. That's an accurate quote from the pasuk in Mishlei. So now we need to know what the Gemara is saying over here. Got to find the Gemara on the page. All the way at the bottom of the page. What?
I don't have an art scroll for that one, so I can't help you.
Oh yeah, no, I see it over here. It's on the bottom of the page. Motzi diba huksio. Let's see over here. just want to know what the Gemara is bringing this pasuk for. It gives a practical example of what it's talking about. How does this pasuk apply? Gemara, it seems to be making an application of it. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So what happened over here? Okay, this is the whole story over here. Yeah. So listen to what happened over here. I don't know if we have time for this.
We have 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay, so we'll start it. This looks like something that's worthwhile. Rav Kahana Cholash. Rav Kahana became sick. Shadruha Rabbonin. Rabbi Yoshua Berei the Rav Idi. They sent the Rabbonin sent a message to Rabbi Yeshua Berei the Rav Idi that he should come and visit Rav Kahana, who is sick. Amulei. They said to him, "Zil Badok, my dine. Go and check it out. What's his situation?" Also, he went. Ashkeched enough nafshe. He found that he had passed away.
Oy.
Okay. Karie lelebushe. He tore his garment. He tore kriya. Vahadre lekire lachore uboche ba'osi. He tore his garment, and then he somehow made the tear in the garment in the back of his to the back instead of where it was in the front, in order to conceal this. And then he went. And then it says he cried, "Boki ba'osi," and then it says he came. He came. In other words, he came back before the Chachamim. And he was still a bit teary-eyed. Amrulay, they said to him, "No knafshe. Did he pass away?" Amalahu, he said to them, "Anna lo ka'amina." He said to them, "I did not say that. I did not say that. Umotzi diba huksil." And he quoted this pasuk in Mishlei. Someone who bears bad tidings, a diba, is a ksil.
A fool?
Speaks without seichel.
So the word that they're translating as slander actually means bad tidings.
Well, based upon the Gemara that they're quoting, that's how I would understand it. But definitely, he's definitely our translator is definitely justified and translated in that way, because that's certainly the way the word is used in the Chumash with Yosef telling his father. It's exactly what Yosef was doing. He was telling a slanderous report about his brothers.
But is it different from Lashon Hara? Because usually Lashon Hara is what was translated as slander.
we don't have, yeah, we'd have to see, take a look. If you have a chumash on hand, how they translate that pasuk over there with Yoetz.
I'm looking.
Okay, it's Lamed Zion, hey,
Zion.
beginning of Parshas Vayeshev.
I see it, but I don't see where it talks about him talking about them. This is about the dream.
Yeah, it says V'yove Yosef es dibasom ra'a el aviem. It's the last 6 words of the pasuk.
Pasuk hey, you said?
No, pasuk. Sorry, pasuk base.
Oh, base.
Lamed Zion, pasuk base.
Okay. All right, I see it. Yeah. Vayave Yosef es dibat sam ra'a el avihem. Okay, I see it. So it's Vayave. He would bring dibasam is words, ra'ah, evil ones, evil words to his father.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say lashon hara. Dibasam, is that just words, or does that have a negative connotation to it?
Oh, definitely. See how Rashi explains what the Diba Samra was.
Let's see the Rashi.
Dibra Maskil es Diba Samra. It's the third Dibra Maskil in that pasuk.
It's 11:33. Anybody else the time?
Okay. We're
All
out
right.
of time.
We'll have to continue this tomorrow.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi. See you in a few
Okay.
minutes.
Very good.
Have a good day.